G'day everybody! Today we're going to try out the current Skirmish mode in Dune Imperium Digital. These modes are pretty fun because it's a PvE mode where you're playing against AI, um, but the rules are different, and this mode changes every few days. It makes you think about the game differently. The other interesting thing is, although you're playing against AI players, at the end of the game, you get a score, which is then compared against other people around the world who have tried the same mode. And so it's a competitive versus AI mode, which is pretty fun. Let's look at today's mode here. All right, so the special rules modifiers we have Panoplia Prophetica. Double the number of copies of each Bene Gesserit card in the Imperium deck. Whoa. Okay, so that is interesting because the Bene Gesserit cards I've always thought were really cool. They combo off each other to get powerful effects like extra spice or make people discard cards or get extra influence. But sometimes it's hard to kind of get a critical mass with them. And I've often found that it can be a bit of a trap trying to go for a heavy Bene Gesserit strategy. It's hard to make it work. When it works, it's really cool. But it's tough to do. So doubling the amount of Bene Gesserit cards in the deck is going to make that a lot more possible. All right, now the scoring modifiers down here. City Slicker, this is a pretty common kind of rule that they often have with these modes. Plus 1 point for every 2 times you send an agent to a city board space. So basically, the first time you send an agent to a space, you don't get a point, but the next time you do. And legends, plus 1 for each named character in your deck. Okay, so I guess that would be like Gurney Halleck, Peter DeVries, um, and that kind of stuff. Reverend Mother Gaius Helen Mahayam for a Bene Gesserit example. Okay, very fun. So the way that the scoring works here, I think if we go here, it shows us how this works. Basically, if you want to be competitive on the leaderboard, you have to win the game. You have to come first place. Doing so gets you 20 points, right? If you come second, you're down to 10, and after that, you're pretty much out of it. So you kind of have to win, um, and you get 3 tries at this. So within, it's like maybe 3 days each skirmish is active at the moment. I think it's a little bit too quick, but that's how it's working right now. Um, so you can try it up to 3 times, and your best score of however many attempts you tried of those first 3, that's what counts as your score. If you want to, you can keep trying after that, but it won't change your score anymore. All right, so I haven't tried this yet. This will be my first attempt, and let's just see how it goes. Okay, so as far as leaders goes, there's a couple of reasons why I'm leaning towards Helena here. One is she can't be blocked at city spaces, and going to city spaces is important in order to get your score as high as you can. So the fact that she can go to whatever city space she wants, regardless of what the opponents do, I think will be beneficial. The other reason I'm interested in her is her signet ring manipulatability. So this lets her kind of reserve cards from the Imperium row and get them a little bit cheaper. And given that, we're really trying to get those named cards, this might be helpful to make sure that we get them and the other players don't. So let's go with Helena here, and we'll get into the game. All right, let's take a look at the Imperium row to start things off. So what do we have here? All right, a power play, a shifting allegiances, a Thufir Hawat, we want that, Spice Hunter, and Gunthopter. All right, now, unfortunately, I don't have my signet ring in my opening hand here, so I won't be able to reserve the Thufir Hawat this turn. Hmm. So my hand next turn will look like this. That will make it definitely possible to get the Thufir if he's still there. But I wonder if there's a way to do it this turn. Well, it's not looking very good because I have no way of drawing a card, right? I can't draw a card with this. I can't draw a card with these. And I can't draw a card with this. I could increase my persuasion by 1 by going up to Hall of Oratory with a dagger. But that's kind of the best I can do, so it can't happen. I can't do it. Given that, I think the High Council seat is going to be pretty important in this game in order to get the cards out of the Imperium row. So I'm going to kind of angle towards that. There's a couple ways I could do that here. So I could kind of go the standard, seek allies into still suits, grab the 3 spice, then next turn transform it. I could do that, or I could try to just get 5 Solari right now and get my High Council seat next turn. So I think I'm going to go that route, which means I'm going to again seek allies over to wealth here. That's 2 Solari. And I'm going to try to get the secure contract with my next play. Whoa. Okay, we've got a hard-fought first conflict here. All right, well, I'm not getting in on this, obviously. That's going to be a bargain deal for Mr. Thorvald over here, getting an intrigue card. Well, no, he'll get 3rd place. He'll get 2 Solari for 1 troop, which is not bad. All right, so my plan is going to stay as it was. My daggers are going to be, unfortunately, wasted here because I'm not involved with the conflict. I could get involved, right? If I really wanted to, I could go here, throw in a troop, and, get 3rd place. That would be a way to get 2 Solari, but what I really want is 3 Solari. So I'm going to stick with my original plan, go up to secure contract. I'm sitting on 5 Solari. I'm ready to get my High Council seat for next turn, which is going to start powering me up to grab whatever named cards happen to show up. Interestingly, there are no Bene Gesserit cards in the Imperium row here, even though there's double the normal amount in the deck this game. They haven't shown up yet. So it's a reveal. My poor daggers go to waste. I have 2 persuasion, and it's going to be an Arrakis liaison, again, to help me pick up those cards from the Imperium row. Well, there goes Thufir. It's sad, but that's how it goes. Okay, there's our first Bene Gesserit card. There's another one. So they're starting to show up here. Terrible purpose. The trash, I think, is pretty valuable because that tends to benefit Bene Gesserit strategies. Getting the non-Bene Gesserit cards out of your deck can be pretty helpful. So winning this would be nice. I'm not sure if I'm going to be in position to do it, really. All right, so I'm ready to get the High Council seat. I should probably do it in case for some reason Memnon decides to do it first. I'm guessing he's going to go for the Swordmaster, but I should probably just do it while I can. The tricky thing is this power play would normally be the card I would definitely want to reserve with my Signet Ring, but there is some argument for kind of trying to get some of these Bene Gesserit cards instead. This 3 spice is somewhat tempting. So, but I also want to use my diplomacy. Then again, going to a city is kind of what I need to do, right? Okay, well, drawing a card is not super exciting here, although it could be helpful. I'm going to start off just with the High Council seat right now. And it feels really bad not to take that. But I'm going to take the gene manipulation here and kind of start working towards a potential Bene Gesserit strategy. Everybody is in here for 1. Now, unfortunately, my daggers were in my last hand, so throwing in 1 is unlikely to do much for me. But I could throw in more than 1. And so I am tempted. Yeah, I would like to win this. The question is, how many troops do I throw in here? Let's see. Leto has not used any daggers yet, so Leto is probably sitting on 2 daggers in hand right now, which would mean I'd have to throw in 3 troops, all 3 troops to beat him. The Beast, it's hard to tell. Okay, Memnon is not really a contender. Drawing the card potentially gives me more power to buy things, right? I'm going to be the last person to buy. So these cards that are going to be here are going to be different. So it might not be a bad idea to put myself in a good position to get something good. However, drawing a card now is going to reshuffle my discard pile, which means it will delay the drawing of whatever cards I happen to get this turn. So it's a bit of a conundrum there. I'm just imagining, let's just say a 7-cost Jessica happens to show up here, and I have used my reconnaissance, let's say to go to Carthag, and I'm down to 6 persuasion. That would make me very sad, and so just to avoid that extremely unlikely outcome, I'm going to go to Arakeen and set myself up. Ooh, that works too. Set myself up for excitement rather than disappointment. Who knows what'll happen? All right, let's deploy some troops. I'm going to deploy 3 because I think that's likely to work. And, you know, the victory point and the trash I think will be nice. It, of course, depends on these intrigue cards. We'll just have to see how that goes. Wow. 2 Worm Riders. Well, I can get one of them. I have 8 here. The other option is I could get a power play and a gene manipulation. But I think getting some early spice generation is probably worth it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a Worm Riders and see what shows up here. Ooh, it's a Duncan. That's going to be hard for me to get next round, unfortunately. We'll take the gene manipulation. All right, let's trash a card. I think what I need the least here is this Dune, the desert planet. Yeah, my 2 daggers are going to be in my next hand. Unfortunately, I can't get rid of them. Okay, we'll get rid of the Dune. And I was mistaken earlier when I said drawing a card would reshuffle before I get to draw. It's actually going to happen coming up here. All right, so I am going to have to start working towards this Sword Master. It's going to be hard to win the game without it. How can I get this Duncan? It's going to be hard to do without an early reveal. Maybe it's worth doing an early reveal. Because I don't think this guy will stick around if I don't really reveal. So, given that, I think I'm going to go here. In order to go to a city space, I'm going to trash a card and get an intrigue and see how that goes. Okay, that's nice to have. We'll lose a dagger here, I think. And yeah, let's throw in for this. The bees took the Mentat, which means maybe I don't have to early reveal. If I play an agent, Leto plays an agent, the beast plays an agent, Memnon plays an agent, and I still get a chance to reveal. Okay, that is nice. Now what do I want to do with that intel? Assuming they don't early reveal, right? I think maybe getting myself some Solari would be a good plan. I mean, I could take a gamble. Actually, is it a gamble? A little bit. I could send my Arrakis liaison to Arakeen to get another city space happening. But that would drop me down to 3 persuasion. I'd have to draw anything except Worm Riders to bring me back up. So going to this city is tempting just for the point. But I am going to have to start getting towards this Swordmaster. And so I think what I'll do instead is just go to secure contract. And let's see what happens. Oh, I wanted that Doofier so bad. All right, so here comes Duncan, Idaho, which is very nice. That gets me a point. It's looking like I'll probably win this conflict. Some more Bene Gesserit cards here showing up. A ton of Bene Gesserit cards here showing up. That's a card I definitely want. But it's going to be gone right now. All right, no need to play an entry card. In fact, can't play that even if I wanted to. All right, so I'm going to have an extra turn. All right, that's nice to have in the pocket. Now, this spice is looking juicy, so I think what I want to do is go to Hardy Warriors, get myself some water, and then probably go here and grab that spice because that's going to be good to have. This conflict would be another way of getting Solari. But yeah, let me go this way. It's going to be important for me to get to 2 Influence of the Freeman anyway to unlock options with Siege Tabor, I think. So we'll do that. The other reason it's going to be important for me to do that is to unlock the swords bonus on Worm Riders. Okay. So as I said, I'm eyeing this spice because that's 5 spice, which is very nice. I'm giving us a bit of consideration to a secure contract to get me to 8 Solari, which would unlock a Swordmaster play down the line, rather than having to go to Great Flat and then sell Melange or something. It would also be nice to get in on this. Well, I guess I actually can do both because of that Mentat I picked up. So I think I better get this spice while I can, although there's no threat anyone else is going to take it. I'm thinking about whether I need to use the Signet Ring here or if I would prefer to draw this Worm Riders and use that to get even more spice right now, since I don't have this Freeman thing unlocked. That could be interesting. I have a ton of persuasion here. Let's do it that way. Let's deploy one and just see what happens. Hall of Oratory, eh? What is he going for? Probably this Sardaukar Legion. All right, so I'm just going to cash in some spice here. Like I said, I'm not super concerned about using the Signet Ring to reserve a card. And the discount, not using the card is the same as using it and getting the discount, right? Because I get one persuasion for just keeping it in my hand. If I use it, I lose that persuasion, but then get one discount. So that part balances out. Let me just harvest this spice. And yeah. Yeah. There was an argument for just letting this build because no one else was sitting at enough water. So in a sense, there was no hurry. I could have just let it pile up. All right. Well, we've got some Bene Gesserit cards about to join the team here. I'm not going to win the conflict. The best I can hope for is third or tying for third, which unfortunately is just going to be 7 Solari. But that's how it is. So, the Bene Gesserit sister is just very versatile, so I'm going to grab that first. And that would leave me with 4. The argument for getting a voice first is it would leave me with 5. And so there are a lot of named cards that cost 5. So actually, I'm going to try that. I'm going to grab a voice for 2. Oh. Aha. Do I want these 2? Or do I want this? That card is actually incredibly nice because it goes to cities and it can increase influence. So I'm going to take that, see what pops up. Okay, now I have the option between the Bene Gesserit sister and the Bene Gesserit initiate. They're both very nice. The Bene Gesserit sister obviously has more powerful reveal effects to persuasion or to swords, which it's really nice to have that option. Also, she can take you to Bene Gesserit faction spaces. The initiate can go to green, city, green, purple, orange, whatever, Landsrad, city, spice trade, and it draws a card when you do that. And you know what? I think I like that better because that's going to power up combos. Ooh, I really hope I draw my Signet Ring next turn. Okay, I don't want the Sardaukar infantry. We're going to stop there. So this is a card I definitely want. 1, because it's a named card, so that's a point. It has great faction access, Emperor and Bene Gesserit. It has a great combo ability, making each opponent discard 2 cards if you have another Bene Gesserit in play already. That's just brutal when that happens. And it has a great reveal ability. So, ooh, Leto really wants to win that. Investing very hard there. Okay, so I tied with the Beast. We both get 2 Solari. Unfortunately, leaving me 1 Solari off my Swordmaster. Okay, now, sadly, I'm not able to combo the Missionara Protectiva this turn. And I don't have my Signet Ring to reserve this, but I theoretically will be the first player to reveal. So I just want to make sure I have 6 at the end, which that's actually going to be pretty hard to do. I'm going to need to draw cards. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to send my Diplomacy to Still Suits to give me a water. And that water will allow me to draw another card later with Duncan, Idaho. This also is going to unlock the sword bonus on the Worm Riders. I would like to get in on this conflict, both because I have a... okay. I still have a... I'm probably not going to win it, but getting second place honestly would not be terrible because that would get me my last Solari needed for the Swordmaster. And the water is obviously useful for me here. Okay, so the plan is going to be Duncan, Idaho to Arakeen, which unfortunately is going to pay Leto a Solari, but that's going to let me draw 2 cards, which, you know, hopefully will put me in range of the Reverend Mother here. So let's go here. Almost there. And we got there. All right. I have 4 swords backing me up. If I threw in both troops, that would be 4 strength plus 4 would be 8. That puts me in contention for first. I mean, Thorvald here can certainly back that up still. Alternatively, I just throw in 1, which 2 plus 4 is 6. That would just tie him right now if he doesn't do anything else. But I don't even mind that. I do want to make sure I get second, though. So I'm going to throw in both troops. And I'll either be happy with first or second here. How am I doing on my bonus points? All right, so I've gotten 2 points for City Slickers, so I've been there 4 or 5 times to the cities. 1 named card in my deck. Hopefully that's about to become 2. Okay. Well. Thank you very much. Okay, that will be that. Wow, Leto, big reveal there. Unfortunately, he did not manage to get involved in the conflict. So we'll see what Memnon has here. Okay, off to the Hall of Oratory. Can he afford to get the troops out of that? Yes. Okay, well. All right. Fine. There goes Gurney Halleck, sadly for me. Okay, that's a card I'll be happy to get next turn if I can. All right, so the second place, like I said, I'm actually not too sad about that. Because that 2 Solari is going to, you know, it's going to save me a turn. I'm not going to have to waste a turn getting 1 Solari somewhere. And the water also is going to allow me to go to Hardy Warriors if I want to. It's going to allow me to get some spice here if I want to. Guild Bank Raid. Ooh, we're going to get some combo action here. And the water also is going to allow me to activate, you know, Duncan whenever he shows up. Okay. Now, I need to go to Swordmaster. I'm sitting on a lot of persuasion here. At a certain point, I'm probably gonna have to start buying Spice Must Flow because I'm not exactly killing it with the victory points here. There's a lot of tempting targets here, though. We've got 4 spice sitting here for 1 water, which is a great deal. I'm not hurting for spice, but having more is always good because that just frees up hayliners down the road or things like selective breeding. Okay, this is the one I don't want to play first. Now, a bummer is that I don't have a good card to trash with this gene manipulation. So what could I do? First of all, am I in danger of getting blocked on this? Yellow, no. Leto's not going to take that. So I don't have to do that immediately. So what I could do is use my Bene Gesserit Initiate to go to Arakeen and draw 2 cards. And that will allow me to trash that dagger with the gene manipulation. Because I don't want to trash any of these. So we'll do that. I feel really bad about leaving that spice there. Maybe I just go here and draw 1. It's a 50-50 shot of getting the dagger. If it doesn't happen, then, you know, I don't trash a card, which is not the end of the world, but is it that high of my priority that I let 4 spice go to one of these jokers instead of me? You know what? Let's monopolize it. Okay, I didn't get the dagger. Fine. I think I am going to want to use my signet ring to grab that. I have to get the Swordmaster now, so I could just... Let's just do it. Let's reserve that. Look at all these Bene Gesserit cards. Oh my god. All right, so I could now use gene manipulation to go here. That will draw me a card, which is this dagger. I can then trash that card and just get it out of there. The only problem with that is at the moment I'm sitting on Spice Must Flow money, and I do have to start thinking about actually getting points here because I have to win this game. If I do that, it means I don't get to take the test of humanity, which is something I would like to get. So basically my choices here are, I could go up, I could send this up to Hall of Oratory. I want to play this because I'm going to get the 2 spice, right? So even if I don't trash a card, I still want the 2 spice, which means I don't want to early reveal here. So if I care about getting Spice Must Flow right now, then I'll send this up to Hall of Oratory because that will be -2 +1 persuasion. That'll sit me at 9. And I grab the Spice Must Flow, and unfortunately this just disappears. Or I go here, prioritize kind of making my deck more powerful and hope that in the next few rounds it makes up for it. But, this is already round 6, right? We're in the second half of the game. Getting a victory point right now is good, although it's going to clog up my deck a bit more. It's going to be harder to combo my cards. Oh. What would you do right here? Let me know. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go with the theme of this whole thing. I'm going to go max Bene Gesserit here. So I'm not going to get Spice Must Flow. I'm going to go here. I'm going to draw my dagger. I'm going to trash my dagger. I guess there were other things I could have trashed. I kind of forgot I had a discard pile. So I don't think I can. Yeah, I can't undo that. I can't undo that. That's fine. I think I still want to get rid of the dagger unless I want to get in on this conflict. If I put in 1 troop, I have 1 dagger backing it up. That might get me first place. So maybe I keep the dagger and instead trash Dune, the desert planet. Now that limits my access to desert spaces, but I think that's all right. I shouldn't have a huge need to go to those spaces anyway. So let's get rid of this. Let's throw in the troop and see if we can cheese out a first place or even a second place. And what I'm going to hope is that something else exciting pops up here for me to snag that will make me extra happy I didn't take the Spice Must Flow. Okay, well that didn't happen, but it still could. Let's reveal. Looks like we're all going to be tying for second here, so we'll all get 2. As things stand at the moment, we'll see about the beast. Oh yeah, I forgot about my little dagger. Okay, so I'm going to take this card because, again, this is a way for me to get influence by going to city spaces, which is pretty good. And we'll see if something nice pops up in its place. Okay, so here's where I have a decision to make. I said I was going max Bene Gesserit here, right? Which Test of Humanity plays into, because it also gives me Bene Gesserit access, which allows me to use some of that spice I have to trash cards and draw cards, which kind of fuels the whole thing. So that's a very strong card for me to get. But if I do get it, I'll only have 5 persuasion remaining. And this opulence is, it's a very nice card. That's going to allow me to, get a point here. And, it's going to allow me to get points down the road, or maybe 1 from the reveal. It's a little bit crazy to take this instead of this. But I said I was going max Bene Gesserit, so let's go max Bene Gesserit. And this 5, I'm just going to let go to waste because I don't want any of these things. Okay, crazy move. Tell me what you think of it. Yeah, and now the beast is going to get that opulence. What are you going to do? All right, I just want to take a moment here. I'm going to link this part to Direwolf. This is one of the things I think could really be improved in the game. Is right now when we're in the combat zone, it's not really clear that what's happening in the game right now. If I look over at the players, no one has a highlight showing whose turn it is. There's no thing that popped up telling me it's my turn. There's no kind of good indication in the game that the game is waiting for me to do something. Up here at the top, we have this text, "You have no cards to play. Click pass to continue combat." But there's nothing drawing my eye up to this top area. I basically never look up there, right? All of the action is happening down in the bottom. My hand is down here. The combat is down here. The buttons that I want to click are down here. So that top area really doesn't get much attention. So I think there's a couple of things. One, I think it would be really nice if there was some visual indicator that right now we are in the combat or the conflict resolution stage. Maybe some little red animation or outline or something to make it clear that's what's happening. Maybe like a little zoom in on the conflict area. I don't know, but something to make it clear that's where we are. Additionally, something to make it obvious that it's my action right now, because this has happened to me a bunch of times. I know it's happened to other people where we're waiting on somebody and you go, "Oh, it's waiting on me. Oh, sorry." Right? So some kind of animation, around the pass button or around my cards, I think would be really helpful to avoid these situations where players don't even know that the game and everyone else is waiting on them. While I'm here, I think another thing that would be really handy would be an indicator of the intrigues that have been played in combat, who has passed and who hasn't passed. When you're playing in person, we talk to each other. You passed, I passed, he passed, and you can keep track of like, is it going to come back around, or do I have to play my card now? Can I pass and wait? Some kind of like visual indicator I think would be super handy, so you can easily see who has passed and who has played a card. Now, I know you can go up to the action log here to look at that, but honestly, there's a lot going on in there. It's not easy to do it at a glance. So those are some suggestions there. And again, if this top area, if there's important information up there, it really, I think, doesn't work. Somewhere down where my eyes are going to be anyway, this area, right here is kind of not being used for much. Maybe important messages should go there. Okay, so I am going to pass. And I snuck out a second place, so that's 4 Solari. And that's nice. That's going to open up a rally troop possibility. Okay, now we're into the meat of things here. Now, luckily, I'm sitting on a fat stack of spice. which is going to allow me to hit the Hayliner here. Now, given I don't have a ton of troops, there might be an argument for me going to rally troops first so that I can throw more in when I do go to Hayliner and have a better shot at this. Nobody else is going to beat me to it. The only thing I would need to worry about is a voice or something, so I could even use the voice to reserve it. What about this diplomacy? There's a lot of things I could do with that. Let's go to rally troops first. And we'll use our initiate to draw another card here. Okay, we've got a lot of Bene Gesserit action here. Freeman Alliance is gone. That's something that would have been nice for me to have, obviously, for my Worm Riders. And I think Leto actually has a Worm Rider, so that's a little bit dangerous. I'm not doing great over here. Yeah. Yeah. Do I want to draw another card here? At the moment, I'm looking at playing in some... Well, the diplomacy is going to be going to Hayliner, right? If I can beat this, at the moment, it's actually looking a little bit tough, but I have the Worm Riders to back me up. I definitely want to play the Missionara Protectiva to, you know, get an influence here somewhere. So I guess it's those are the two cards I want to play, which means unfortunately I won't be able to get the spice out of this, but I think that's all right. So the question is, do I want to send this to get a water, to get an intrigue card, or to get a card? I think at this point, is there a chance for me to still get a Spice Must Flow? If I use that and use that, I'm going to drop down 2 to 6. Drawing one card is not going to bring me up to 9. It might bring me up to 7, which if I keep just imagining the situation where a Jessica pops up and I can't buy it. Just so afraid of that scenario. But I need to make sure I win this, and so I'm going to go for the intrigue card. Oh, okay. Let's throw in 3 there. And where do I want to throw this? So I'm going to be going to Hayliner this turn. That's 1. I have this I could use to drop up another one. And if I use this, I could go up here and put myself in range for actually that alliance, which would be kind of cool. The other option would be, you know, going to the Emperor, which I'm probably unlikely to visit ever again. Though there are reasons I might do it. It's going to be hard for me to get that alliance, though. I don't have good access up there. So I think we'll get the Emperor point right now. And that will be that. Oh, you better not block Hayliner. You better not block Hayliner. You blocked Hayliner. And I don't have the Solari to get a Mentat. All right, well, I'm not going to win this conflict after all. How does that change what I need to do now? Maybe it means I go to fold space here. Because, like I said, I'm lacking faction access. So when I need to get that Hayliner next time, I don't have a lot of ways to get there. So putting a fold space in the deck could be valuable. Oh, that really sucks. Why did he do it? Well, I'll just have to win another one. You know, I could have used my own voice to make sure that I would get it, but I really wanted to get that influence. So, you know, it doesn't always work out. I think this is what I need to do. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about trying to get some water to get this fat load. Again, I like to keep other people away from this. But it's going to be, well, let's just stick with my plan. Okay, so it looks like I'm probably going to get second place here, which means I'm going to have to burn one of these cards now to make sure I'm not sitting on 4. So let me just do that now. I don't want to be sitting on 4 intrigue cards because if somebody goes to secrets next turn, they'll steal one of my cards, which is obviously bad. Now, sadly, I don't have a great option here in terms of what I'm going to get out of my reveal. But I will get a gene manipulation. Ooh. And nothing else. How am I doing on points? 2 named characters, 3 points here. It's not great. I've noticed that the people at the top of the leaderboards tend to get scores of like, 38, 35, 40 in some cases. Okay, there's a named character. I can't get it this round. Maybe next round. Thorvald, you son of a... All right, so I did manage to get second place there. 3 more spice and an intrigue. That is welcome. Ooh. There's a way for me to use my spice. I don't mind that. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, I can't get to Hayliner here, and I really don't want Memnon to win again. Nothing in here is going to get me to Hayliner either. Um, I'm thinking of starting to hit up some selective breeding to make my deck run a little bit smoother. But both of these cards are important. Now, this one for 5, I have a decent shot at it if Thorvald doesn't take it. We're still sitting on 6 spice here. It's not like I need it. I would like other people to not have it, but I don't have a great way of making sure that happens. I think I want to play these 3 cards basically to combo things up. So I'm going to start here. It also might be a good idea for me to snag this right now. Let's just snag it right now. Okay. So we're going to go to... Here's another thing I think that would be really handy is showing the name of the space when I'm mousing over it with my agent. It does it when I mouse over normally, but right now I feel like it should really show me the mouse over for that space. Personally, I would prefer it if the spaces always had the names available. I think it just makes the game feel more flavorful. It's helpful for people watching the stream to know what space I'm talking about. And for people who don't have all the spaces memorized, I think it would add a lot. Even for me who does, sometimes I'm starting to forget because I'm not seeing them all the time. Anyway, let's go to, what is it? Selective breeding. People are discarding cards here. We'll see what Thorvald chooses to do. Could lose a troop. No, he's discarding a card. Okay. I'm now going to trash a card to draw 2 cards. And I don't have a lot of junky cards to get rid of anymore out of my discard pile. This reconnaissance is kind of expendable, but I'm a little bit worried about how much persuasion I'm going to have remaining to me. So for example, my plan is to play this and this. That's going to subtract 3, leaving me at 5. If I trash the reconnaissance right now, it's going to drop me down, but I am going to be drawing 2 cards. However, 2 of the cards I'm drawing don't give me any persuasion. So there's a chance that that doesn't end up working. So in order to totally fail, I'd have to draw those 2 cards. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 cards in my deck. Drawing those specific 2 cards, there's only a 10% chance of that happening. So I am going to go ahead and trash this reconnaissance. Because I don't want to trash any of those, really. All right, and it all worked out just fine. And I still have 3 agents left. I forgot I took that Mentat. Okay, the beast is collecting a lot of money here. Hall of Oratory, so that probably means a directorship or a Spice Must Float coming in for the beast. Three agents remaining. If I play this and this and this. That subtracts me 4. It still leaves me with 6. It still lets me get Liet Kynes. I can actually even reserve the Liet Kynes with my Signet Ring if I want to. The Chom directorship is not that great for me right now because I'm not... I mean, it would maybe get me to the Space and Guild Alliance. It would get me this point, but I'm... Yeah. Is it time to make people discard 2 cards? Oh, if Thorvald's going to lose both hands if I do it now. Oh, I have to do that just to screw over Earl Memnon Thorvald. Ooh, I have 2 cards in hand. I can't wait to use them. Yeah. You're going to have to wait. You have to wait a long time. Okay, so that means I have to decide to either go to secrets or to wealth. I think it's going to be secrets. Oh, man. That's so brutal. Oh, Thorvald, remember when you had cards in hand? Oh, it was a convincing argument and a dagger. Well, I don't know what he was going to do with those cards anyway. Okay, an ambush is nice to have as well. The only sort of trouble... Okay, so yeah, everyone's revealing for like nothing, right? Because I blew up their hands. So I have my pick. The beast, I guess, had to... Yeah, I really screwed them over. Okay. I think I want to... The only person left to reveal is Leto here with 1 card in hand. Still has an agent turn. Do I have a chance at winning this conflict? If I put in 3 troops and use my ambush, I think I can actually beat Memnon here. So I'm just asking myself if I want to draw a card or if I want to draw an intrigue card, or I guess maybe a water. The water would power up Duncan next turn. The other option would be drawing a card, hoping to get Duncan, and then just getting a free water out of him that way. Where would I use the influence here? Spacing Guild, maybe? Because I guess I could even do both. That's kind of cool. All right, so let's go here. Let's draw the card, see what we get. It's a convincing argument. Okay. We'll set aside a card in the Imperium row. It's going to be Liet Kynes because I want to make sure I get that. We're going to deploy 3 troops because that's 6 plus 4 is 10. That's going to beat Memnon depending on what he has here, but I think I'm going to get another intrigue card just to make sure. Not going to use that yet. We'll end the turn. Leto going to Still Suits, solidifying that alliance. Leto now wants in on this, but only sitting on 1 intrigue card, so it's not likely to matter. It's another situation here where I could get a Spice Must Flow, right? But this is a named card, which is going to get me a point. So I want to try to get those when I can, if I think I can still win the game. And I think I can. So we're going to use Missionaria Protectiva. And I can't draw a card. The question is if I want to get a water here to set up my next turn. Because, you know, this is probably going to work, but they each have an intrigue card. And so there's a chance that it doesn't work. The most basic of combat cards would, at the very least, tie me, if not beat me. So maybe a little insurance there wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Oh, and there's a water anyway. Oh, also I get to deploy a troop. So let me just deploy that troop. That will help. Let's take an influence now. Freeman, not much point. Bene Gesserit, maybe. Maybe that gets me that alliance. Spacing Guild, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to end up with that alliance if I do that. So let's go Guild, because I'm going to want to go to Hayliner, most likely. So let's do that. And I'm just going to burn this now, make sure I'm not sitting on too many cards. Not really any reason to keep that secret. And we'll end the turn. Okay, so it's my reveal now. And I mean, I guess this would be nice, right? It's going to get me the alliance right now. It'll push me towards maybe getting the Bene Gesserit alliance. It gets me closer to the bonuses on these tracks, but no. I want the point here. And with my 4 remaining, that is a no thank you. Okay, so again, it would be really nice if this was clear that it was combat time. At least my combat card is highlighted. That is helpful. I am going to use it. So it wasn't clear that Memnon had passed, right? I want to know who's passing and who's not. Okay, so that's a victory. That is really nice. That is going to be very helpful for my goal of winning the game. Happy to get some free spice. And it's Grand Vision. Okay. Now, theoretically, I could even potentially get this turn, which would get me maybe some good stuff. Look at the spice sitting here. No one else is ready for it. Maybe I should make myself ready for it. I mean, I don't know if I need it, though. The only person who kind of desperately needs spice right now is the Beast. And he's not in a position to take it, so maybe I just let this sit there. I mean, I've got enough for 2 Hayliners and my Sleeper Awakens, so not really much need to prioritize that. I think what I want to do is draw some more of my Bene Gesserit cards. So I don't have Mentat money, unfortunately. But I do, yeah, I want to draw some cards. We'll feed Leto a little bit of Solari here. Let's see what we get. Okay, that's going to be handy. I mean, I'll throw in a troop. How am I doing on points? 4 and 3. It's all right. Okay, Memnon going hard for this. And there's not really, I think, much of a way for me to fight him on that. What happens if he wins that? He can maybe steal that alliance, or get a point here, or get a point here, or solidify this. It's not a major deal. You know, either of those prizes is kind of okay for me. I don't think I'm going to push too hard to win this. It would be nice if I could, but not a huge deal. I think maybe it would be a good time for me to actually get this Space and Guild Alliance, because that 3 Solari will allow me to rally troops, which is something I think I would like to do. So let me go here. We'll get that alliance. We'll get the rally troops money. Oh, that's pretty nice to have also. Huh. Let's say I have 2. Plus 3 would be 5. Maybe I can beat him for first, although I don't think I actually want to, because I want this to go to the last round to have a chance at some more points. That's dangerous to do that. But I think I'm just going to sit on that troop. Right. Leto going to Hayliner. All right. Okay. At this point, drawing the card off of Duncan is not that great, so I think I'm better off actually using him for a reveal to get the water. The 2 swords. The 2 swords is kind of whatever. But having 2 water will allow me to do like a research station next turn, which could be pretty great. And so I think it's rally troops. And next turn, well, next turn is going to be the final round. I have a decent chance of getting to go to Hayliner next turn, although I'm going to be the last player, but everyone else is kind of out of spice. Leto. If Leto is able to pick this up this turn, he might go straight to Hayliner next turn, which could be dangerous. But there's not really anything that I can do about it. So something else to consider would be sending the dagger up here to Hall of Oratory, and buying this. That would get me troops. Honestly, that's just about as good as rally troops. Because, well, it's better. Because it doesn't actually cost me Solari. So let's do it that way. Yeah, I'm not going to use this. Okay. I could use this to end the game right now, but I don't want to do it because I want to have another chance at getting a couple of more points here. One thing that would be really nice in the skirmish mode would be to show me how many times I've visited the City Slicker spaces, because I have 5 points here. I don't actually know if I'm going to get a point with this next, the next city I visit, right? Because if it's an, like, it's rounded down. So let's say I've already visited city spaces 10 times and this is my 11th time, I won't get a point. If it's my 12th time, I will. And I don't think I should be expected to write that down and keep track. It would be nice if it just showed me. Okay, let's reveal. I will take this. There is the Lady Jessica. Can I get her next turn? This whole game, I was fearing that the Lady Jessica would show up and I wouldn't be able to get her. And it looks like that's what's going to happen. But it wasn't because I didn't have enough persuasion. It's because she showed up after I spent all of my persuasion. Man, okay, Leto really wants to win this. What does he want to do with that 2 influence bump? I guess he would get the Bene Gesserit alliance. Oh, never mind. Oh, is Thorvald gonna steal this? He's gonna steal it. Sorry, Leto. Wow. Okay, nice retreat. All right, let's see what he does with that. Okay. Now, unfortunately, Leto getting second place means he's sitting on 6 spice, which, allows him to hit Hardy Warriors right now, potentially. Look at this. And, sorry, Hayliner is what I meant. And yes, he does go to the Hayliner. Okay. So that's going to be pretty tough to beat. It's going to be pretty tough to beat Leto here. So I have to consider my options here. One, can I beat him for this conflict? I do have 4 troops sitting here, but that's not 10 or whatever he ends up with. Okay, let's say I really wanted to beat him. What could I do? I could go to Hardy Warriors. That puts in 4 troops. I would have 2 left still. I could get those in somehow. Okay, so I could do 4. There'd be 2 left. I would go here. That would throw in 7 total. Next turn, I could go in here. That would put me to 8 troops. Plus my 4 swords here and an intrigue card. It's possible. It's possible I could do it. Is it worth doing that? Alternatively, I don't worry too much about it, and I just try to make sure I have more points than him at the end. So there's 1 free point there, that's 10. If he gets to 10 and I get to 10, I will win due to the spice tiebreaker. He would have to have an endgame card here or get another point somehow, which he can't. All right. Also, if I set myself up to draw a spice must flow, or to get a spice must flow this turn, then, you know, probably I'm still going to win. So I think I'm still in a decent spot, and it's possible that like the beast will come in and steal this victory from Leto anyway, which would be fine. All right, so the question is, how do I make sure I get a spice must flow and visit cities as much as I can? Again, I wish I knew how many times I needed to visit the cities, because it could change my whole turn, right? I probably want to make sure I don't use that first so that I'm able to get, let's say, this influence to get an intrigue card there. So, given that I don't care too much about the spice bonus from this, I think a research station would be a pretty good move, and that would also potentially allow me to really screw over the other players, as well as opening up a spice must flow. So let's do that. I'm also thinking about the diplomacy. I could potentially steal that Bene Gesserit alliance. Let's say I diplomacy here. Trash a card and draw 2. That's pretty nice. If I want to, I can then go here. I don't know if that's necessary, though. Do I need to worry about the beast winning? If the beast gets these 2 points and buys a spice must flow, it's possible he could have some endgame intrigue. I'm looking at 9, 10, 11 points, which is probably good enough, but it might not be. Also, the beast is probably not winning this. Maybe I should just visit 3 cities this turn and hope that that is worth it. All right, I guess I'll go to a city first just to see what the situation is. All right, we'll do it that way. So we'll send a gene manipulation here. And we'll draw 3. Okay. There's not really any point in trashing a card. But I guess there is. We'll get rid of a dagger here. We might as well throw in the troops because it's the last round anyway. Hey, spice. The spice has been cashed in. All right. Again, I want to make sure that I still have enough to buy Spice Must Flow here, so I need to be mindful of that. I can only afford... Okay, well, drawing cards here would be helpful. It's still possible I can steal that alliance. Did I get a point? No. Okay, so I need to go to one more city space, but going to 2 won't help me. I need to go to 1. Okay. Unfortunately, there are no named characters sitting there. All right, let's make these fine fellows discard some cards. Happy about that. Yeah. Reducing the chances of them getting any spices, which could potentially flow. Oh. That's interesting. Don't have a water, though. All right. Let's trash a card to draw 2. It doesn't really matter too much what it is at this point. Let's get rid of this directorship just for fun. Okay. Any reason to do these yet? No. I guess I should have kept the directorship just in case, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's that. So I need to go to a city to get that last point. I was really hoping to steal that. My goal was to use the Missionara Protectiva to go to a city and get that alliance. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen now. So that's unfortunate because that was a point that I was going to get, which, you know, maybe would matter. But I can't do it. So is there any reason to use any of these other cards? Get spice. No, I want that. Well, yeah, whatever. That point would do what? It would get me a water. That's kind of it. I mean, just for style points, I guess I would be in the top, the top influence area on everybody's track, which is kind of cool because I started out, not very fast on those things. Getting the water would allow me to use this water of life, which I don't know. There's a chance, I guess, that I could somehow get enough for 2 spice must flows. Probably not. But I think that is still the way to go because at least maybe it opens up some named characters there that I can get. So let's do it that way. Do I want an intrigue card or draw a card? Well, the Liet Kynes is going to be worth 4 influence. Then if I can get that, that's worth another bunch. All right. Let's go for that. Let's go for a potential double spice must flow. I don't know if it's actually possible. We'll see. We'll draw the card. We'll get the water down here with the Freeman. We'll deploy our troops because there's no reason not to. And there's also no reason not to just do this now and see what we get. Come on, baby. No! Wait. Oh, 1 short. 1 short. Either of these two would have done it. All right, fine. Hey, there's a named character. That's great. It's going to be hard for my friends here to buy anything because they're out of cards. Okay, so let's do this now. Is there any reason to do this? I guess I would like to get 2nd place. Is there any reason not to do this? I'm currently winning on the Spice tiebreaker, which means it won't come down to the Solari anyway, so I might as well, but oh no, I have to actually click reveal first, otherwise that doesn't work. Okay, let's get the Stilgar. Come on, big names. Come on, big names. Come on, big names. No. All right, well, let's get some 1 costs and hope we get some more big names. Come on, big names. Come on, big names. Nope. Let's get another 1 cost. Come on, big names. Big names. No. Let's get another 1 cost. Big names. Hey, big name. All right, let's cash it. What else we got? Big name. No. No more 1 costs. Okay, let's get a 2 costs. There are some cheap ones, right? I could get a Dr. Yue. Come on, Dr. Yue, 请你来看我们. Dr. Yue, no. All right, well, there's not really any point anymore because I only have 2 persuasion. No way to get another secret one. Look at the acquisitions here. Well, I'm happy to get an extra 2 points at the end there. That is great. Okay, let's use the reinforcements. We'll throw them in. Why did that not take my Solari? Seems a little weird. Am I actually going to tie this guy? That would be nice. That would be hilarious. I didn't really imagine I could, but I guess all those cards I drew just gave me a ton of swords. Okay, let's see how this goes. Oh, no spice must flow for you. Hey, that's too bad. There's another Jessica. All right, that's a pretty good score, I feel. This is going to be the best score I've gotten in a skirmish so far, assuming I do pull out the win here. Okay, I didn't tie. Wait a minute. I didn't buy Spice Must Flow. I think I'm going to win on the Spice tiebreaker, but oh no. I got so excited about buying named characters, I forgot to buy a Spice Must Flow. Please don't have an endgame intrigue card. Okay, I'm definitely taking an intrigue card in case I get one. And then I'll take the Spice to hopefully keep that tiebreaker. Oh my goodness. Okay, he doesn't have an intrigue card. Thorvald has one. Oh. Okay, that was that was very close. That was very close. But I managed to get the win, which is super important in the skirmish mode. So that's plus 20 points. And I think I ended up with plus 10 from my other stuff. Here. 6 from, oh, plus 11. 6 from going to cities, 5 named characters. So that should be a score of 31, which I think is pretty good. Let's see how it compares to everybody else. All right. Where does 31 put me? It's definitely my best skirmish yet. The skirmish has been completed. Please try again using the latest skirmish rules. What? That score better count. Okay. Oh, that scared me. That scared me. That was obviously a bug. All right, so yeah, some people are just crazy in this mode. Like 31, I think, is a very good score, and obviously, you know, relatively speaking, it is pretty good. To get 38, how do you even do that? How do you even do that? You need to visit 14 more city spaces, or get 7 more named characters, or some weird combination of those things. That is really wild. So I'm not sure how people get these super high scores, but anyway, I'm pretty happy with that. Thanks very much for tuning in and watching. Music is getting louder. Let me just turn that down. Yeah, so thanks very much for tuning in and watching. Remember, you can, you know, subscribe to the YouTube. You can comment. I always love reading these comments. Let me know about the decisions that I made in this game. Let me know how you did in this skirmish mode. And of course, you can also find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/bludgeon, where I'm streaming probably 2 or 3 times a week right now. So in terms of Eastern time zone, that would be Sunday nights, Tuesday nights, and Thursday nights at the moment. You can check my Twitch schedule to see that, and that would be Eastern time, 8 p.m. All right, that's it for today. We will see you next time. Goodbye.